Now you're welcome back. Nigerian youth across board have made frantic effort at that, to ensure that they organize themselves and mobilize the youth to participate actively in Nigeria, especially in the coming 2023 elections. Amongst many of those groups, we have the hashtag We Together group that have been doing a lot in that sector, and I have been joined today by the convener of the We Together group, of course, talking about Ibrahim Abdulkarim, right here in the studio, to help us look at the direction which the Nigerian youth should be going in preparation for 2023 elections. It's good to have you join me today.
Good afternoon, Mr. Benga.
Good afternoon.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You were here a while ago, so I like to hit it straight to the point. You were here a while ago, and we discussed many of the issues and the challenges of the Nigerian youth in participating actively. Chief among all those things that I do remember that you mentioned is the issue of financing, that the youth do not have the kind of money that is being used in the political scene today. But having known that, you also try to provide a solution through the We Together mobilization, where youth can donate and crowdfund for those who are participating, and specifically youth who are participating in the electoral process. Let's begin the conversation by getting, how far so far have you gone? How many people have you raised? How many people are you sponsoring? And what has the response from the Nigerian youth been like with your movement?
Thank you very much, Benga. I think so far so good. We try as much as possible to talk to young Nigerians, to let them understand that nobody will do it for them. They have to do it themselves. Nobody can create the change unless we create the change ourselves. All the anger, all the stress, all the things that we're passing through, we just have to come together, irrespective of our tribe, religion, political party or class, for us to create a system that works for us. It's only when we come together and present to them our own charter, we call it the Charter of Demand for the Young Nigerians. This is what we want. This is the kind of leadership we want. This is the kind of people that we want to rule us or come to take us to where we want to take us. As you said in your introduction, we think differently. We have dreams. There's lots of things that we want to do, and we need a country. Without a country, we can't achieve all these things that we want to achieve. So actually, what we did in We Together is that we asked our members to pick up from irrespective of any party, because at that moment we don't have actually just the party we're supposed to take them. But with the amount of money we see asking from the two major parties, we tell them try to source some of these funds in the smaller parties. Actually, I personally talked to two of the parties that I know I can reach out to, like PRP and others. PRP is almost like 40 years old party, and with a lot of principles and things like that. It's more prominent in the north here. And we talk to some parties like ADC and AA party in the southern part of the country, and we tell all our members try to pick funds attractive, because in politics, political science is not only studied within the confine of a school. What running, the regiment of the things you're going to pass through when you run. Even if you go to Harvard or you go to Oxford or you go to any university, you can't learn something. So you have to be on the field project, so that you do your consultation, you buy your form, you look at how you fill form, how you are going to get delegate, how you get voted, and how money is going to play, how the talks are going to be part. These are some of the things, how you're going to meet the religious bodies and other things. These are some of the things. So far so good. We have eight gubernatorial candidates. Okay. As we talk today, we have 5 in PRP, 1 in NMPP, and then 1 in APC. We have Baba Ina, who is our national coordinator in regional coordinator in Northeast, contesting for governorship in Adamawa State. We have Nawisu, who is Salu Tankoyakase, contesting in Kano as a PRP gubernatorial candidate aspirant. We have Emanjino, who is also part of the We Together. Everybody have been seeing it on television, contesting in Katsina. We have Mohammed Bamali contesting in Kaduna. We have Jamilu MD Abubakar, we call it Jamilu Pilot, in Zampara, contesting on NPP, NNPP. And we have Santuraki, who is now contesting in Jigawa. So these are all the gubernatorial candidates. Then we have from senators to House of Assembly to House of Rep, we have 70 people now vying for election and almost getting to 11 states. including Zamfara, Borno, and other places. And then we encourage a lot of people to take a form for House of Assembly, Senate, and also places, not only because they want to learn, but also they have to have the passion for them to win. Because when we want to do our unity list, when we want to come together as young Nigerians, maybe after the primaries, to now select our own unity list, because what we realize in they do in the main parties, what we learn from them is that after everything, the big men from the party will sit down and now tell the other people to step down for their own unity party and then now sign. So I say it's okay, it's a good one, we are learning. So what we want to do towards October, November, October next year, what we'll do is that we'll look at the campaign structure of all these people that become now candidates, in irrespective of the party. We will now start to pens down based on our candidate selection criteria. So even if our own candidate from We Together is not having that criteria, we are still going to drop him, because we want somebody that is going to go, because if he's not going with the ethics and the DNA for We Together, and I told you the other time, the DNA of We Together is the DNA of our founding fathers. Our founding fathers tried to create Nigeria, not just Nigeria that work for Nigerians, they created a Nigeria that work for Africa. I told you that. So what we want to do is that we don't want somebody that will come and become a governor and think only for his own people. As he is building his state, he is building in such a way that it's going to go for whole Nigerians to be comfortable to live in that particular state. Not only just people in Nigeria, but also people that are coming from all over Africa to see that his state as a place. So that one, it will reduce him to start thinking of bigotry and also religious issues. He's now going to see a big heart. We want somebody that's having a big heart to accommodate, not only accommodate Nigerians, but accommodate the whole of Africa, to see how we are going to develop the system. So we have candidates now that we are now registering, pushing them. Even today we want to pick almost like 100 new additional forms that we are going to share some of our people that are intending to. And I will tell them that don't come to contest because you want somebody to give you money so that you step up for somebody, or you just hold a brief for somebody. If you do that, you are going to destroy your future political ambition, because people are not seeing, because this is an age of social media. So if you start your campaign neatly and the young Nigerians try to now rally around you, and now at the end of a tail of a program you now decided to chicken out or to back out, it's going to be on record. Then all the Nigerians are going to ask questions. But if he couldn't make it because we are not raising the small funds that we're supposed to back him up, because let me give you an example. If we look at the posters of all the 5 candidates of We Together for PRP, you see the whole posters look the same, because we get one branding company to do a branding poster for all of them. What we just do is that we take nice pictures, beg them to take a nice picture, and we send the picture to the branding officer. The branding company will then do the branding for them, for the declaration, for everything. So now we get another company that will be doing the banners and the posters for us. So all this one we get half price of what we're supposed to pay. So even when we go deep into the campaign, that's what we want to help them. So if we do the unity list, we are now going to bring like let's see 1,000 contestants on our list. So we want
to jump in on this conversation because it sounded very interesting. I mean, you're doing a whole lot, and it's quite impressive. I mean, but that's what youth is, by the way. But I'm beginning to think that wouldn't you have fared better as a political party on your own? Because I was looking for
that's what we wanted to do.
What We Together was doing.
We applied to we call the party CPN, Compatriot Party of Nigeria. We have our constitution, we have our manifesto, and we have document is there, we can share with you with them. But INEC decided in their own wisdom that this time around they are not going to register any new party. So we have to adopt a party, and we have to start talking. That's why I said I will talk to 3 or 4 political parties that are junior, small parties that we think if we come to them, we work with them, we make them as big as the bigger parties. Okay,
well, you're talking about big parties and small parties, and a lot of time when we say these things, it sounds like you're trying to despair, and to castigate on some parties. That's how some of them feel.
Yes.
And I'm thinking that knowing the fact that politics, especially partisanship is about structure.
Yeah.
How much you have influence, in the local communities, in the wards.
Yeah.
You talk about the big parties and the small parties, and I was thinking, from all that you mentioned, you just mentioned one APC, and APC right now is claiming to be the biggest political party in Africa. The PDP has always boasted that it is the biggest party or the largest party in Nigeria. I was thinking that you would have probably pushed these people forward into all these parties. I mean, these major parties. Why are you choosing these supposedly small parties? Are you increasing the chances of these candidates by that?
Yeah. What we do is that I can give you a story of our friend Garba, Adam Garba, and Ibrahim Dauda, and also we have Mr. Shino Pella, who is even our national coordinator. These are all young Nigerians that feels they want to go to these big parties, but actually you can see what really happened. It's a story that is open to everybody. I can give you a story of one of our friends, Tiju in Kaduna, that wanted to contest for governor. You can see what really happened to him. You understand? His godfather just tell him, look at him and say, step down for social person. And he has to, because it's a godfather system. If you have a godfather, then you don't have something to stand for. That's why we said we together. Let's come as a family. Like, for example, the 5 people we are having in different parties, all of them, 8 of them, you can go and tell them to step down for anyone, because it's a family thing, you understand? We see at the best that we can offer, because all the things we are saying, all the achievement we want to give to Nigerians, we have to practically show it. How can we show it unless we have a state that we are going to run how transport systems are supposed to be, how we are going to solve the security problem? We have to have an enclave, a place where we can showcase it. If we are talking about legislation, how we are going to put up bills and other things, we have to show it. We have to have some candidates. Look at Malema and his team in South Africa, trying to showcase what they can offer to South Africans. Since when there are 5 of them, now there are almost 40 something of them. That's how it will grow. What we are saying is that why we want to go to the smaller parties, as I always tell people, if you are rich and you want to have a house, if you build a house, you get what you want, almost everything that you want in the house. But if you buy somebody that build a house, then definitely you have to just adopt to how the smaller the room, the smaller the toilet, and also things that you suppose maybe you are not interested in having in that particular. That's why we take and we together. So I think if we go to PRP, NMPP, ADC, AA party, we can add value to what they are doing. We can be part of them. We can create a party that can accommodate the young Nigerians. For example, PRP is the oldest party in the country, and also we know how we think. We say that they are too conservative and things like that. But as we are coming now, we design a new website for them that is going to be to our own taste, and also very interactive to what we want to do. And also, if you look at the jingles and also the kind of declaration we are doing, it's something that is going to add value to the young people to say, okay, party is just like a vehicle taking us to a destination where we want to go to. So it's for us to make sure that at least the vehicle that's taking us to that place is having good tires, is having serviceable, is having whatever we wanted to have. We were supposed to do that ourselves, and nobody would do it for us. That's why the bigger parties that we want to carry our members to go is to becoming a little bit too tricky for them. And I was seeing something going viral now, that how the one sticky mat that they use for rats to go on top, and they keep on sticking on it, as they say there is a APC strategy for the presidency. So notwithstanding, actually, and then we have to have a party where you can set it all. You can bring new hope to Nigeria. You understand? If we go through these main parties, for example, if some of our candidates, even that are contesting on APC and PRP, we have to go a little bit above what we want to do, to not to even castigate their party, because we are not going to sit down and start talking about what PDP is doing, what people has done, or what APC has done. What we want to do is a solution provider. That's why we call ourselves We Together, and we said let's do it ourselves. We are solution providers. We just want to talk about the solutions. We talk about transport, we talk about the solution. As they are telling us that you are too small to contest, you don't have money, we are still going to keep on talking about the solutions. What we want to have, we have 8 months of campaign. What we want is that we want them to be on television like this. Well, they can afford it. If they can afford a phone for 100 million, I think they can afford. Some of them even have television stations. So why not then let them come to television system? Let them iron it about this plus this plus this. But let me tell you what we are going to give them the run for their money on. above all the 8 months for the campaign that our candidates have, we want to do what is called shadow government. We want to confront them. We are not going to give them open check this time around. We want to tell you, if you're contesting for president, part of the charter of demand is that show us who are the people you're going to work with, who are going to be in your cabinet. We want to see, do you even have the stamina, you understand, to bring in new faces, to bring in new people, or we are just going to assemble the same corrupt people that we have seen around the system and then bring them to be part of your cabinet and continue the Nigeria that you think is Nigeria that is going to be good for you. That's not the Nigeria that we want. From 1999 to today, they have not solved one single problem. I bet you, Benga, just show me any problem that you have seen that Nigeria is having by 1999 that today is not a problem. From the fuel queues to the epileptic power failure to ASU strike to any other thing. Tell me anyone. So if these people keep on coming for 4 years and we keep them giving them the mandate and they are not innovative enough, that's why I love that your introduction. We say us as young Nigerians, we are very innovative. We will not even be very angry with them if they have been trying something new. You understand? And we've been failing together, and we'll be raising up together, and we're doing new things together. All of us will be excited as young Nigerians. But when we are saying that they are so the thinking is just too narrow. They virtually doing nothing. They are solving no problem, and they are just calling themselves big men. You can see them with all the big houses, with all the big cars. But if you tell them just to manage to see some apps for you on your tablet, they don't know what to do about it. So they are not innovative. You understand? There is not anything new coming from the system that is solving problem. This security issue, we know the use of the drones, we know the use of satellite, we know how to do spatial distribution of crimes and other things. How we are going to even do predictive analysis for all these things that is going to happen in the next during the this is what we do. This is what young people, and I also tell people is that the problem is that they are trying to pump our knowledge, the young. If you go to any old man, you see the army of young Nigerians around him, trying to pump their energy, trying to pump their skills, trying to pump their innovation. But because he's at the top there, with his age 70, 60, 70, and 80, it's difficult for him to comprehend what they are saying. What we are saying is that we now need somebody that is younger. You understand? Somebody that the barriers is not too wide. You understand? And also this issue of ethnic differences. You understand? Anybody or some of it that witnessed the 1970 and also the Civil War, you can see they have this nonchalance about the cohesion of the country. The unity is not their problem, you understand. But us and the younger ones, 15 years to 25, they don't bother about what happened in 1978. They don't bother what happened in the 70s. They don't bother about the Civil War. What they want is that it has happened. It has happened. We have to forgive ourselves. Look at me, Benga, me and you talking here. Maybe the next person talking to us here is an Igbo person, or is somebody from the Ijo and other things. When we want to see Joe, the creeks looking like one of the best creeks in the world. We see some of the creeks in Dubai. They call creeks, they call them their creeks. But you go and see the skyscrapers on the street. And then we have the same one just polluted. They can't even farm, they can't do anything. That has to change. We go to Sokoto, the desertification is killing almost everybody at the side of Sokoto. As the young Nigerians, what we are saying is that we have to stay away from these people that are not thinking, people that are not solving problem, and let's start creating a system that will work for us.
All right, thank you very much. Again, I must say that I say kudos for your ingenuity, with the creative ideas that you are bringing up to engage the Nigerian youth and ensure that they are well positioned, for the 2023 race and forward in the future. But let's look at it. I'm sure you also know that within the political space right now, while you talk about the 60s, the 70s, you also have younger politicians, who probably are in their 40s. As a matter of fact, there are people who are in their 40s and early 50s who have also thrown their weight into the presidential race for 2023. How are you working to ensure that you are able to recruit these people into these ideas so that the ideas of we together can also work in their favors, even though they belong to the
other parties,
other parties that we're talking about?
What we intend to do is that the committee that we have, immediately after the primaries, that's under the third of then they submitted their list. Then maybe at the mid of, then the committee will now set up with the candidate selection criteria. Then we look at this candidate selection criteria. Then we look at some of these contestants. Then we look at all the positions that we're having because of the unity list that we want to do. Then we now write a letter. You understand? The committee will sit down, select a person, 2 or 3 in a particular state, in a particular position. Then we send the best 3, we send them the letter. If they are younger, they have innovative thinking and things like that. And then we encourage them to upload some of the things that they want to do in their website. Not only on their website, on a place that everybody is like a market, the Facebook, for example, so that your classmate in primary school are there, your classmate in the secondary school are there, your classmate in university in there, the people you are work together with them as your company members are also going to be there. So on your Facebook, give us 10 minutes, 30 minutes, all the time, 2-3 posting in a week. So within the period of that 1 week or 1 month, we now assess you. We'll go to the comment section and see what people are saying about the solution you are bringing to your state, solution you are bringing to your constituency at the state level or at the federal level. With that one, then the candidate selection committee will now narrow on the one person. I will pick that one person and now we put him on our candidates on our unity list. Then we dispatch the letter and then we go to you so that at least you can now accept the charter of the month for the young Nigerians. If you accept our charter, you go to your website and we put our stamp for We Together on all your posters, and also on your Facebook page to say that this one, based on our interactive with him, we have agreed. And then because we are going to have 250 people per ward for the We Together movement, it's not only us, it's not Ibrahim that is doing it, it's not Mr. Shina Pella that is doing it, or that we saw any other person. We always said, even if you are contesting and you are a executive member and We Together, you have to resign your position so that when you are doing the candidate selection, it's not going to favor you, because if you don't have it, we are not going to. So we tell them, all of them, to resign. Yesterday during our general assembly, because every Wednesday we do general assembly, We Together general assembly, and then we did our 24th general assembly yesterday, and then next week we are going to do our 25th general assembly. And then at the moment, Nigerians now, everybody key in, we are talking to other groups, we want everybody to be coming on that general assembly. So all this that I'm talking to you is a Zoom that will take 100,000 people. So when everybody to come, the leadership will talk. People will ask questions, people will say, what are you doing? Because we want to make it open so that it will be, even if we select this as a president, all of us have agreed that he has taken the mantle to take our demand, our charter of demand on the sport, on entertainment, on electricity, on security. This is what we have written, and it's also taken from other groups. That this is the charter of demand is coming from other groups. We file it together. So instead of us to be the NSAS without leadership, so We Together will still be that NSAS that Nigerian youth want, but this time around with leadership. This leadership is not going to come as a central power for them, no, but the regional powers that we have, the powers at the local government level, the powers at the world level, that was supposed to strengthen us, for us to say this is the demand of what we want. Because if we agree on the person that is going to become the president, then we tell him with the structure that we have, we can provide you agents in every polling unit. We can help you to move people out that have PBC, because the problem we are having now is that we have to have something that will excite the young Nigerians so they will come out and vote. Even those that are not voting, they don't have, if you regret not having a PBC, we tell you that bring 10 people to vote that day. So even if you don't have a PBC, maybe because of anything that happened to them, but satisfy yourself, remove that guilty conscience, and then make sure that at least you bring 10 people to vote on that particular day. At least you get yourself satisfied and not go into panic, because the lack of voting, if we don't vote, we didn't go out to vote, then these people will have a chance to do whatever we want. And part of the story that we have done is that if you go to our social media handle, we are just like INEC. We have done more PBC drive, even more than what the INEC is doing. You can go to our social media handles and check on our posting how we are keep nagging on issue of people. No matter how you are to us at the We Together family, if you don't have a PBC, is that we are going to war with you and you don't have a gun. You understand? But we realize that even if you don't have a gun, but there is a way you can help those that have a gun. So we still take you as part of the We Together family to work with you. So in the idea of everything that we thought of and where we want to drive at as a We Together movement is that we create a platform, because I heard of pastors, senior citizens, imams in their congregation telling Nigerians that you should vote your conscience. Don't vote parties. Vote for credible people. Then who is giving us the criteria? Who is arranging us? Who is designing how we're going to do that? It's an idea for you to tell a woman that you get the best husband, but you have to give her the criteria. This is how you look like. You understand? Nobody is doing it to us, so we take it upon ourselves at the way together. We said this is what we've been going to be doing in the next 8 months for us to get the right person addressed. So if we can get the idea is that if we can get our unity list, and then we talk to Nigerians, and Nigerians feel this is the unity we're supposed to adopt, and everybody come to us, what that will do for us is that the next president will feel he has the mandate of Nigeria. That's number one. Number two, we'll quench the anger that we have that these people are not working. You know, if you want to really punish politicians, Mr. Benga, put him aside. Don't take him to jail. Don't do anything with him. Let him not be part of that table. He will feel like you have already destroyed him, because that's how you punish politicians. In the US, in the UK, that's how they punish politicians. In the modern world, that's how they punish politicians. People have to get the power to put and remove. If you can do that, every other politician will respect Nigerians. But now that's what we are seeing now, and the kind of politics they are playing during 2023, we will see that there is high level of impunity. People are, you can see somebody, for example, let me just give you one example. INEC, when they make their sensitive material, they took it where? To the CBN for what? For safekeeping. And then the person that's in charge to collect it and put it for them, he's not interested to run for. But you can see the impunity. This one, you don't have to ask somebody that this is not for his fundamental right to, but that is a moral part of the system. That is some other things that you're supposed to look at. For example, your sister is having her sister, because you want to get additional wife, there's no you can look at her, your own sister, your wife's sister, and say you want to marry her. It's not possible. You understand? These are some things morally, there are some things that you cannot do. You understand? Even if you have a fundamental right for you to do it. In Hausa they said, so this is part of things we are saying. There are some things you're supposed to show that you are a man of integrity, you are a man of character, you are a man that people supposed to trust you. Because if you're asking people to trust you to make you a president, then you have to show from what you have been doing to show that you are a classical person, a person that has substance. You understand? Somebody that the country is first before any other thing. So this is just one case. I can give you these cases like almost 20, 30 of those kind of people.
Yes, this season. Yeah, quite a lot of them. Okay, let's look at other issues. I'm still very cogent, and I'd like to get your view honestly right now. Well, you have said that INEC has refused, to register new political parties in Nigeria, and there's been a lot of opinions about that. Some think that the political class, especially at the higher echelon, have probably hijacked that process in order to barricade youths, knowing that there is a grand plan by the Nigerian youth to also take over the 2023 election. Do you share in their thoughts that probably INEC is just trying to serve the interest of politicians and not the Nigerian people?
No, the INEC chairman I know, and the panel of the INEC staffs that I know, and also the commission itself that is working closely with European Union, the international communities, and also the CSOs and the NGOs. Like, I don't think they have any preference of who actually wants to become the next president. With the new technology they are providing, the VMAS and other things they are trying to bring, I don't think they are tilting toward that way. They are not dancing to anybody. Okay. What I think is that if they open the gate for us, because they have almost like 200 applications, so for them to put up 200 and sort out 200 and then do a lot of things is going to cost them a lot of funding. And also they're giving us a challenge. If you truly believe in yourself, that you really want to have a party because you truly believe you have the structure for you to do, then why not look at all the remaining 16 parties or 15 parties and just go and talk to anybody? Because policy is about engagement. It's about negotiations. It's about putting, even the big parties we are talking about, that's what they've been doing. All these 100 million that are coming is just for negotiations. So if you can't do that, you just have to have your own space to do it. That means you have some complex issue, and it's going to be very difficult for you to survive in politics, you understand. And I'm happy, I told you we have almost 4 different parties that we have talked to, and they agreed to work with us, and we are still working with them. And look at now, we have candidates going into the system. So it's not a problem from INEC. INEC, I think they are doing the fantastic work. It's us, the young Nigerians, supposed to even support INEC to make sure we don't participate in being talks, because as I told you, part of the 3 things that we together wants to emulate in the next 10 years is that godfatherism, money politics, and thuggery. And this is something that will really push our effort to be done, because it's even our candidate. If that's why I said we are going to disqualify even our candidate, because if we see you conniving with talks, going around your rallies with talks, then we are going to exonerate ourselves from you. We said you are not that. You don't have that we together DNA. No matter even if we stammer, we remove our stammer from you, because we don't want to see you aiding what they are doing. Because even if you said no, that they are going to, no, we want to honorably feel. Even if we are going to lose, let us be honorably that we can make it. It's easy. It's okay. We can come back 2027. It's okay. We can come back 2031. It's not something that it's not a do or die. But for us to get into the rudiment of all the political processes, you understand, is a very good knowledge that we can have any other places. Is only when we will participate. So we keep on talking to them to let them understand that this is what we want to achieve. It's not about you. That's why we call it We Together. If you're contesting for a governor or House of Member, it's not about you. It's about the whole Nigerian youth. You're representing them, because if you mess up, they will say, oh, look at them. I look at what they're doing, you understand? And then we know politics is very, very expensive. That's why we're saying we have to come together, because if we are coming together, we're not shy away of not having a godfather, but there are some Nigerians that are interested in Nigeria, and they are interested in a good Nigeria, and they want to put their money on an association or a group of people that actually have a vision of where they want to take Nigeria. We work with them. What we're supposed to do is that to make our accounts open, to make our auditing of our account open, so that at least within ourselves we will not be suspecting each other of doing anything bad, you understand? Even those that want to help us and they don't want their names to be known, we will know how to, because this politics, we know how it works, we work for them. We know some people during the Buhari era, if I tell you, then I said this person donated to Buhari, you will never believe him, because you know how he castigated the system and castigated the name during 2015 election. But they are part of the people that come behind the scene to help him. So in politics, anybody that you see, there is a lot of things behind the scene in any political, and we agreed and we know there is a lot of things that before we are so naive, you understand about it. That's why we see some of us jump into the system and say, I'm going to contest. For example, I always tell them, if you come to contest for president alone, without your team, without a structure like We Together, you understand, you're going to end up having 3,000 votes, highest 35,000 votes, highest 37,000 votes. Nobody got 100,000 votes, because your contesting is attached to the other series of contestants on the lower level, from the governor to state assembly, senate, and the house of assembly. If in a state all these people are now running, and you are running for them for the president, you see the cohesion. You see, if you are coming to that state, already the opposition candidate is going to muzzle all the house, state assembly and house assembly. Before you come to the hall, everybody is there. They are going to mobilize posters. As they are pushing all the posters of AA party, OPRP, or any small party, then that party is going to have their posters in all the crannies of the country. But now, if you say you are going to do ABC, and then this ABC is a new person, and maybe SDP is a new person, and then he's not having cascading people contesting for him, because it's going to be a problem for you. And also, something I realized is that not only now that we even choose to go to APC, and something very strange happened yesterday and today. We see these big parties sponsoring candidates in smaller parties, giving them funds to pick from where the We Together candidates are coming, so that they will use their money and pay agents and delegates to buy themselves that seat. So at least that person at the end will say, I'm stepping down for so person. Then they have now useless. But we are still, they have their strategy. We have our strategy too, and we are people of strategy, and I always tell them, be wary of people that have a plan, and we really have a plan.
All right, I guess strategy is something that shouldn't be made open.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to talk about it.
Yes. So I'll spare that, but
I tell them that we know what they are doing.
We know what they are doing.
Yes.
I like that. All right, let's move away now and look at other cogent issues. The youth generally have a lot of problems, you know, although it is generally agreed that finance is the major problem that the Nigerian youth has. Yes. But I'd like to know from your point of view, and especially from what you've been doing with We Together, what other challenges stand as a stumbling block for youth participation, especially in this 2023 election process and electioneering process, apart from financing?
We are not yet, we are not bonding. We have trust issues. And sometimes we go to church, we believe in our pastor, we believe in our imam. Sometimes they come to tell us that he raped somebody, but we still believe in him. Sometimes they come to tell him that he squandered the whole money for the congregation. We still believe in him because we believe he's taking us to heaven to meet the God. And when it comes to politics, once a young man among you, a story come that maybe somebody has given something, we all fly away. And so what they normally do is that immediately they see young people walking, they'll try to somebody kind of talk and just put up some small money. And they know that once you can see the SUGs in all the schools, the NANS issue, you understand, we all see what has been happening to young people. Once you see the congregation of young people, just throw in money. It's just like a bomb. As it drop, it just break everybody. Then you will not see them again. But at this time around, that's why we call it the We Together family. We're creating a bonding among us. That's why we said every week we sit, we do our general assembly. Everybody should come and listen to what we've been doing. We open our account, we open what we were supposed to do, and we tell ourselves the story of what we are doing. The issue of the money is still going to be a problem. But let me tell you, no matter how many people break up, and you still continue, then some people now come and register as if they want to be part of us. They will show their face in everywhere we are going to. You understand? Just because somebody is just trying to make sure that they are part of us, so that when he was withdrawing, he will now say, because I work with these people, and they are just chopping money, and they do blah blah blah, somebody gave them this amount of money, I'm going to withdraw. So what he wants, like, once he do that one, then he now scatter the whole program. Everybody will now start. So that's why we keep talking to ourselves. Things like that are going to happen. Even if everybody fly away, you understand, and we remain only 5 of us that we still agree on ourselves, and we still believe in the moment, we still continue. One by one, they will still come down. Because we have seen it in flies, we have seen it in bees, we have seen it. Once that thing is good, that thing is nice, that thing is going to give what they're supposed to. Even if they fly, even if you send them away, even if you have a shongo and all the birds fly away, the birds will still come unless you take away the good thing that is there. So let's put the We Together as the good thing. No matter what will happen, we'll stick to the good thing and keep on doing the good thing and doing the right thing. We will make mistakes. We are young people. That's what makes us young. The mistake, that's what makes us young. We like to do things that we learn from our mistakes. You understand? The old men sometimes they said, okay, because of integrity, because I have done this years, I'm already 80 years, I don't want to make any mistake. But this is why we are young. That's why we are young. We make mistakes and we fall in front and we stood up and we continue. That's the spirit that we have seen. This is the spirit that was given to us in the We Together family. We're going to continue. We're going to keep pushing. Even if at the end we do the unity list, nobody understand and it fails and it didn't work, we still come back to 2007, because between that time people now realize, we have listened to these young people. Have we been, we work together with them, we will not be where we are today. So this is the concept we are bringing. And also, we have young Nigerians that have more beautiful ideas than us. And we may make We Together very open so people to bring their own ideas. Now we are doing congresses in all the states. When we said, even yesterday somebody asked, he said, he's from so place, they have not been there. The next person, a woman from Sokoto, when she took up the mic, she said, nobody gave us what to do in Sokoto. What we realized how the political system run in Sokoto. We create the system how we want to do it, and we now reach out to the national body and tell them this is what we want to do. We want to produce t-shirts, we want to do the banners, we want to create this kind of leadership, we are going to do outreach in schools. And then we're given approval. When we did it, it will sound very nice to them. Then the Adamawa State took it and wants to do it. So we are saying that if you feel what we are saying today is a little bit too rough and it's not having the clear where it wants to do, that's why you are a young person. That's why you see the difference of where the listening in what I'm saying today. You reach out to us. Let's have to read together. Tell them this is the best thing. I had your convener, but this is the better way for you to do this. If you do this, you do this. And this is the people that I want you to meet, so that at least you add more groups to your program this way. And this is the rich person that I think he loves Nigeria. He likes Nigeria to move forward. Can we go and make a presentation so that we can bring him on board? You know, we have gone around the 6 geopolitical zone. We do a live program on NTA for all the 6 for 2 hours, and we tell Nigerians who we are, what we want to do, and how we want to achieve it. And then if you go to our website and social media handles, you can see all the discussion that we have. So it's not something that is hidden. We are not having any hidden agenda. The agenda we have is that the Nigeria we have seen today is not working for us. And it's not going to work for our junior ones. So what we are saying is that we have to do something to alter that. So instead of you to go into the existing system and just rubbish yourself, why not create another parallel system just by the side, so that we make that old system obsolete? Because if the way together is now working, then definitely nobody is going to come. And you can see what happened to Kodak, the film camera or something. Why is it now today? Nobody comes to now say this is why we are going to take it up. But when we start doing it, it will change the whole dimension. We see how technology is evolving from Twitter to Facebook. To all these things, we have seen how it evolved. We see how they build debugging as well. We are even making use of it. So this is the kind of thinking we are bringing in with together. Say, let's continue what we are doing. We debug it as we are doing it, and we reach to where we want to go to.
Well, interesting. I must say this conversation is really impressive. I'm excited about it. I must confess. But I'd also like to ask, because earlier you talked about what you are doing to be a shadow government kind of. And I do remember that from last year, I mean, there's been a shadow government kind of arrangement that is being put forward by the National Consultative Front, the NC Front, and then they talked about shadow government. And ever since, you know, there's been a lot of expectations from Nigerians as to what this will, as we speak, I guess, they are trying to have a meeting as to what they will do regarding 2023. What kind of collaborations? Are you looking at collaborating with this kind of all shadow governments to challenge the system and ensure that there is a new direction? Or are you going to copy their style? Or, like some persons have already found out, that the shadow government may probably mean nothing, in the sense that there is a lot of division amongst them, as they are not able to come together and form a coalition and maybe say, we are presenting this candidate, we are adopting this political party, and this is the party that will embody our ideology, and this is the person that is going to, I mean, it now seems like it's all the same with what it has always been. What are you going to do differently, especially, or what dimension is your shadow government going to take?
The first thing we asked them, the group that you said, is that how many people did they sponsor into this 2023 election? And then we asked them what's their structure. We'll see, we are trying to share away from those Abuja politicians and the people that don't have any basis, they don't have the ground leg, you understand? That's what we are saying. In We Together, we try to push ourselves to the world level, and we're working hard to make sure that at least we create people, 250 people per ward. It's a very huge struggle, you understand? Why I'm not happy with some of these people they are calling is that some of them even contested in 2019 election. They're supposed to start putting up something and start doing something. You don't have to wait till the end tail of the project for you to start doing something. I told you when we were doing this conversation how we try to get ourselves a party. You know how many hours we put in every week, staying 4 hours, 3 hours, twice in a week for us to put up the constitution, put up everything as scratch. Understand? Then the We Together, and I told you how we went round. How many of them do you see them going around all the zones, bringing down all the young Nigerians, being on television 2 hours, talking to Nigerians, telling them what they intend to do? So you see, if you're trying to organize people, you have to do it selflessly. You have to have that passion of actually this is what you really want for the country. You understand? You are not going there because you want to be given the vice president slot. You are not going there because you want to become a minister or you want. No. What you do, that's why I said the first question I ask them, how many people do you sponsor into the present 2023 election campaign? Because I have told you now we have 8 governors and we have almost 70 people aspirants, and we are going to raise to 200 by this evening or by tomorrow. You understand? This is what we are doing, and we have their names, we have their phone numbers, you can get to them. So, and we said it yesterday, even during our General Assembly, we said we're still open to all our members to keep on looking for any group that is doing something that better than what we are doing. We will match, put up all the energy, all the structure that we have, and move into that movement for us to continue to do. If this group we are talking about, if they have what we don't have, for example, you can see the discussion I'm doing. Assuming that they are spokesperson, did they have what we have?
I'm not that spokesperson.
For example, I just give you to be there. I just give you that vision. As what you said, have they done all this thing that we have done? If they have done all this things and they are ahead of us, why not? We join them. But if we are ahead of them, they don't want to pull us down so that we just want to just dance to their name because they have the name. Sometimes the name doesn't work. What works? A lot of people that are watching me today, they have never heard of me. They have never seen me. But that's not why I'm doing what I'm doing. What I'm doing is that I believe in to do the ground leg, and this is what we are doing. God is watching it. Some other people are interested, are still watching us, and they want to see how we're going to fare. How we're going to, when we have the problem, when things happen, how we're going to reconcile ourselves. How we're going to forgive ourselves. How we're going to have the big heart as a chairman also to carry along some of them that messed up when we are doing what we are doing. How are them to be nice to their chairman, also to push him on the lapses that he's having, to cover some of the things that he don't like, because it's a group of people. When we say we together, if everybody is bringing his talent, everybody is giving his commitment, everybody is bringing his connection, and we put everything together, that's the ingredient. Like for example, any food that you see, any good soup that we have seen, it's a lot of ingredients that went into that decision. It's not just one, because if you said it's a cooker in Hausa, cooker alone, you can't even see the green cooker, you will not even touch it, but you have to get the dawa, you have to get all these things for you to put it. That's how life is all about. And then the best the best pot that we have in the whole of the world is the pot of Nigeria, because all the best things that you can think of that can make country great is in Nigeria. That's where all the ingredients are there, but we have a very poor chef. So if you know how chef work, Benga, no matter how good your house is, no matter the size of the pot, no matter the gas cooker, no matter the ingredient, if the chef
is bad,
guys, you're gonna eat a very, very bad food.
Absolutely. Well, so the conversation is getting more intense and interesting, and I must tell you that our viewers are really enjoying this conversation. But let's take a breather right now, and maybe when we come back, we can conclude or round up on the conversation for now. All right, viewers, let's take this quick breather. When we return, we will continue with the conversation in earnest. Probably we could bring it to a halt. Thank you for joining us. We'll be right back.